Hey folks, what a view behind me. I'm at Blackbull Markets headquarters here in Auckland, New Zealand. Speaking of views, you can get TradingView paid plans for free at Blackbull Markets, saving you up to $600 a year. Get either the Essential Plus or Premium plans absolutely free. All you need to do is trade from one lot a month at Blackbull Markets. And you can also get a 100% deposit bonus for your first deposit up to $1,000. All you need to do is click the Trading Nut link in the description below. Our sponsor Blue Guardian is the only prop firm that gives their traders a tool to protect them from hitting their max daily loss and over trading. It's super simple to use. Just set the Guardian Protector each day from your dashboard. Did you also know that they've just released an unlimited time evaluation with a 0 trading days requirement, giving you plenty of time to hit their low 8 and 4% targets, making it super fast to get funded. Plus, it's cheaper than the 40-day time limit evaluation. Check out the link and coupon in the description to get 10% off your next Blue Guardian evaluation.
Morning traders, good day, good afternoon, good evening. Hope everybody's well, everybody's good. We're back again with another live. Not going to waste any time because quite a few things have happened since the last time we've spoken. So I'm just going to take a look at my Forex chart. My Forex calendar. It's kind of just give you guys a breakdown of a few of the things that have happened since. So we've had the USD FOMC meeting, the minutes. They came out a couple hours ago, and then today we had the Euro French flash manufacturing PMI and the German flash manufacturing PMI that came out about 5-10 minutes ago. So the first currency I'd like you to actually take a look at. Let me just move this over to the 4-hour time frame. Let's start looking at the pendings. So let's start looking at some of the pendings. Bullish on New Zealand CAD. Entry was down here. We did come down, but we just didn't come down low enough to give me an entry. So it's still a pending trade for me. AUD NZD. Looking for that retracement back into this level for an entry so I can take it down as a short. AUD franc, looking for that retracement back down to here so I can enter it as a long. Now, as far as the trades that were active yesterday, New Zealand franc obviously entered me into the opportunity and then began to retrace. So I was in profit for a bit. AUD JPY, that has not retraced at all. But here's still hoping for its, finally reaching a resistance level it can't break through. And then coming back down, AUD CAD reached that level, rejected it, and began to fall as well. But as you can see, it's beginning to rise as well. So pretty much on the fence right now. I'm still holding positions because I still believe that these currency pairs are going to fall out of the sky. But for now, I think I'm in profit with AUD CAD. I'm in drawdown with AUD JPY, and I am in slight profits with New Zealand franc. USD JPY is still long on this trade. Still in profit. It's a zero risk trade at this point because I've already moved my stop loss to break even. But I'm expecting, as for a TP1, 151.67 and then 154.82 as a TP2 target. Looking at the dollar index, still falling out of the sky. And I said that if we had to get back into this, two things can happen. We can either find ourselves trapped in this range again, or we'll bounce off of it or will break right through it altogether. Now, if I look at USD/JPY, obviously DXY and USD/JPY are positively correlated to a degree. There isn't this huge bearish move pulling USD/JPY down as yet. Gold. I declare that I absolutely have no idea what's happening with gold. Ever since, the last trade that I made on it, it's kind of had a mind of its own, right? I think a lot of people were expecting us to fall and create new lows. We didn't. Instead, now we're retracing aggressively. I drew this trend line here, trying to figure out exactly what type of where it could be headed towards, where we might find resistance. So my money's on us finding some type of resistance on the trend line. And then hopefully then we can continue with the downward move to the bottom side. But it's still very, tenuous when it comes to gold. You still have to tread very carefully when it comes to gold. So not much has changed. Like about 3 of the trades that I've been holding. I think last live they were all in drawdown. Now 2 of them are in profits and 1 of them is in drawdown. But we're still quite away from reaching our targets on all of them. Next week we have quite a bit of fundamental news releases that could impact what happens. So today's Thursday, which means, we're almost done with this week. Later on this evening, we're going to have the flash manufacturing PMI. That should affect, some of the currency pairs. Along with the flash manufacturing PMI, we're going to get the unemployment claims. So there should be some type of an effect to the trades that we're currently holding. As far as the ones that we're still, we still have on pending, we could find ourselves getting an entry, or we could find ourselves moving even further away from the entry. At this point, it just remains to be seen. I will say, though, next week, we do have some high impact news that directly affects the currencies that we're currently holding. CAD news, New Zealand, the interest rate announcement is going to be coming out next week, Wednesday. Early on that day, there'll be the Australian dollar CPI that will be released. So if we're still holding a lot of these pairs next week, there's going to be a huge amount of volatility. I expect to experience a huge amount of volatility. Hopefully, obviously, in my favor. That would be cool. I'd appreciate that. But yeah, anything can really happen. Anything can really happen. So that is pretty much the rundown of what I'm holding, why I'm holding it, and what I think, moving forward. I think before I move on, when it comes to gold, I mean, you could go long on gold right now. Just, out of FOMO, maybe. But technically speaking, it just wouldn't make any sense. So much of the move has already happened. It just wouldn't make any sense to go along on it now. But to each his own, it could really just be about to break out and go all the way up and create maybe even a new high. 2100 maybe. 2200. Who knows? But I wouldn't be interested in actually just out of nowhere buying gold. As you see from the last trade I took, I bought gold while it was in a downtrend. So right now, since it's in an uptrend, the only rational thing for me to do is to look for a selling opportunity. That's the only thing that makes sense to me, is to try find a bearish opportunity in the next coming days, maybe the next coming weeks. Don't know exactly when, but that's the only thing that makes sense to me. Next week, I'm going to be trading the USD pairs. So this week I took I believe it was AUD, NZD, and New Zealand CAD. Those are the trades that I did analysis on this week. Next week I'm going to be trading USD JPY and USD franc. I usually aim for 1 to 5 on USD franc, so there's that. And then USD JPY I usually shoot for 1 to 2. So it should, should be cool. If I just get one of them right, I'll make a decent amount of profit. Let's do this actually right now so I don't forget. Just gonna move this to next week. Still very early days, so I mean, if I had to just take a look at what could possibly be the trade for next week. Let's see. Okay. Now it's still very early days, right? It's still very early days. I'm not going to take any trades right now. I'm not going to take any trades this week. Still very early days. Now, if we're in a bit of a downtrend, if you want to say that, so we can say this is a corrective structure. But for now, let's call it what it is. It's a bit of a downtrend. If we continue the downtrend, Thursday today we're selling off. Friday we're selling off. Monday we're selling off. Tuesday we're selling off. I'm probably going to want to sell USD franc. I just want to repeat that. If USD franc continues to keep on selling off for the remainder of today, tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, every time it goes up, it just sells off. I'm probably going to want to get into a selling position on USD franc. Chances are it is going to fall big time. If it does that, it means that most probably we'll be breaking through this. If it does that, it means that USD franc is gonna fall at least. Where's my price range? 200 pips, 150 to 200 pips. If USD franc does that, it will send gold to the moon. USD JPY will have no choice but to follow. Euro USD will also fly up to the moon. Okay. Ideally, it falls, it finds support on this trend line, it starts to go back up. But if it doesn't do that, USD franc is going to fall for a while. Okay. And it will bring down USD JPY with it. It will bring down USD CAD with it. And it will send Euro USD, Pound USD, gold to the moon. Okay. That's scenario one. Scenario A. Scenario B is that either today or tomorrow we reach this trend line. Monday, we begin retracing. Tuesday, we're still retracing. We're bullish aggressively. Monday, Tuesday, the beginning of the new week. After we found support this week. If that happens, USD franc is going to fly to the moon. And it will take USD JPY and USD CAD with it, which will push gold, Euro USD, Pound USD down. Now, my initial analysis, what I've been hoping for in terms of gold is that it was going to go lower. As bullish as we are right now, I'm still holding on to that theory. I think it's not a coincidence that even on gold, there's a trend line that we're getting close to. On USD franc, there's a trend line that we're getting close to. I don't think that's a coincidence. Two scenarios here. Okay? Two scenarios. We're going to look at this evening or this afternoon, where we have USD news release, unemployment claims, GDP, core PCE, price index. Tomorrow we have USD ISM manufacturing PMI. So there's a lot of USD news over the next 2 days. The USD news that's coming out over the next 2 days can push USD franc down. And then on Monday, the market pushes it back up. That happens, we know what's happening. We know what's happening. One of the two things is going to happen. So I would definitely advise anyone to just look at USD franc. DXY is a little bit right now to look at. If anything, you would say that according to DXY, it's already indicated that it's going to fall. Okay. But I think the much more reliable chart right now, for now at least, is USD franc, because if you just look at DXY, DXY can very easily just find support and then go back, pretend like it never even broke through this trend line in the first place. So let's look at USD franc from today, tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, and see what's happening. Because if USD franc breaks this trend line, DXY will be all the way down here somewhere, which then would signal to me that at the very least, we're going to take out this level. And if we do that, I go back to what I'm saying. Gold, Euro USD, Pound USD, AUD USD is going to fly. USD CAD, USD JPY, USD franc is going to fall. I'm not so, concerned about this trade, to be honest with you, because like I said, it's a zero risk trade at this point. So if I have to hit stop loss on it, then it's fine. I'm not really that upset, or I'm not going to lose any money. However, because I said next week I'm trading USD franc and USD JPY, I stand a chance of making 1 to 5 on USD franc, and I stand a chance of making a 1 to 2 on USD JPY. So if I lose no money and bank 2% on USD JPY, I'll take that. On the sell, I'll take it. I will definitely take it. But yeah, very exciting times. Very, very exciting times. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to what's going to happen. Unfortunately, all of my currency pairs are kind of not correlated to USD right now. So there's no telling what's going to happen to the trades that I actually have active right now, which is cool. I like that. So far, so good. I have like levels within the trade where once a certain level is achieved, I move my stop from full risk to half risk. And then there's another level where, I move it completely to break even just to manage the trade. Don't want to turn, winners into losers. So yeah, as soon as that happens, AUD JPY is being a pain. I mean, we're pretty high up right now, if I'm being honest. Pretty high up. Still hoping and anticipating for a rejection and for it to fall very swiftly back down, but we'll see. And AUD CAD over here in slight profits. The cool thing is that if I get filled on these ones, the others would have hit TP. So that's pretty chilled. That's pretty chilled. That's pretty chilled. The way this is slowing down though, it looks like a bullish candle is going to come up and break through these wicks. Or it could just reject and come back down and give me a fill and then continue with what it was trying to do. We will see. We will see. Pound USD took long on 4-hour breakouts. Huge win. Awesome. Long Ethereum, huge profit. All right, what are those black lines? Those are my weekly and monthly support and resistance lines. So if you zoom out, you'll see that No matter how far back you go, there is always some type of a reaction to these levels. You see? So these levels act like, support and resistance. They either repel or um, they gravitate to price, or price gravitates to the level. So I like to put my entries at these levels because I know that price has a good chance of being pulled to it. And then I place my stop loss beyond those levels because, like I said, price has a good chance of being pulled to it, but it can find support there and then go in the correct direction. How much pip? Yeah, I don't know what that means. Signal. We don't send signals over here. How to predict where the market will go. Best place to start is baby pips. And I know the name I put you off, but that's honestly the best place for anyone. AUDJPY looks bullish in my opinion. Yeah, it's very bullish right now. Very. I don't what is called follow the trend. I don't follow the trend. I don't. You know, I don't follow the trend because I believe following the trend is very easy. And if it was as simple as following the trend, we'd all make money. You know? So I agree 100% with you. Very bullish right now. And I could very easily hit my stop loss as well. It's okay. Like, you know, it's not the end of the world. If this trade is wrong, it's not the end of the world. How do you mark them? Weekly, monthly, high. Okay. Let's do a currency I don't actually trade, so it should be clear. Euro USD. You know what? Who cares? Let's just clear it. There you go. So either from my weekly or daily charts, wherever I kind of see things most clearly, I think with this I'll use the weekly. So the first thing I look for is I look for a rejection above price here. Price is moving up, rejects it, breaks through it. So here. And then I look at a rejection below price. Price comes down, rejects, goes back up. I try find the median of that move. There. First line. Half the job is done. Okay? Using just that line and we just go across, you see? Rejection, 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 rejection. Very simple. And no matter how far back you look, you'll find price reacting to the level. rejects, rejects, comes back to test, test, and rejects. Cool. Now I need to draw my second level. I can either go beneath this line or I can go above it. That's a good level. Now I just measure how the distance between both of them, and I can just, bring it to the top side, throw that there. Now, because these are like monthly and weekly levels, they very rarely change, you know? Like you set them up one, unless like we break all the way through all of them and then we create like a new range that we're trading from, then you might have to do it again. But for as long as we're in, whatever range we're in, we're safe. Cool. Top left. Perfect. Once again, look at, if you look at, you look far left, you'll see price rejecting here, here, breaks through, comes back to test it, there, you know, rejections over here, rejections, 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 rejections. I repeat, these levels are very good to use as levels to find entry, and also when you're placing your stock, you know not to place it near your monthly level because there's a high likelihood that the price will go and fetch your stop there. Cool. Then weeklies. Um, why doesn't it have this? Then you create the same one over here. Then you have your weeklies, right? Now you come down to your daily or your 4 hourly. Now you start to drop like just dynamic levels. Same principle, but now they don't have to be equally spaced apart. Where is it? So I use the horizontal ray for this. All right, like here. There's a perfect line right there. There's another one over here. You get the idea. You get the idea. Then from here, it's very simple for me. It's literally the patterns. Since I mentioned baby pips, it's very simple patterns. Um, who's this? Just quit trading, chat. You're hopeless. No hope for you. Wow, thanks, man. Let's send him to the gallows. Okay. So this is why I mentioned baby pips in the first place, because as elementary as it might be, a lot of the patterns that you'll find there, they do work. Hence, it doesn't matter what you're reading, uh, reading a book from 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago about trading, they're talking about the same patterns that you'll find on baby pips. So yes, I understand, every now and then, I mean, especially for me, I've been trading for like 8 years. So I've seen M and W patterns come in, and oh my God, these things are so this, they're so that. When you look at an M and W pattern, it's really a descending or ascending flag. You know, when you look at head and shoulder patterns and you look at consolidation zones in boxes, they're the same thing. Or you look at a head and shoulder pattern and you can see an ABCD pattern in there. Like they're all the same thing. It's just every now and then they're packaged by somebody else, they're renamed, rebranded, and um, sold off as this new way or method of trading where it isn't even that thick. It really isn't even that thick. So here, trend line, break of trend line, same principle. You use these levels as entries. You place your stop loss below or beyond them so you don't get hit, you don't get taken out prematurely, and you ride the trade. And you make sure that you have a positive risk to reward rate. That will make you a decent trader. Now, if you're obsessive like me, you have files and papers and stuff that breaks down, and Excel spreadsheets that breaks down the likelihood of each and every pattern appearing on each and every currency pair on the 4 hourly time frame, how often they appear, what's the likelihood of them hitting take profits when they appear, what are the levels, like what does it tend to do once it appears? Does it retrace and then continue to move? That's the stuff that I went one step beyond, and I kind of compiled all of that information for the last 5 years. So I know if I see a head and shoulder pattern on Euro USD, I know that there's a 60% chance of it failing. Or I know that there's an 80% chance of it failing. So if I see one, it's not even that I avoid it, because in the fact that it has an 80% chance of failing, even that presents an opportunity. I can trade the failure. And you can only kind of operate like this if you just do the ugly stuff. You do the back testing and you compile as much information as you possibly can. That's the only way you can kind of be that sure of what you're doing, because I just don't believe that you can trade I trade like 14 currency pairs now, including gold. I don't think you can apply the same methodology to every currency pair. It makes no sense. Why? Who told you that, this flag pattern that you studied here on silver will work on AUD CAD, will work on New Zealand franc, will work on gold, will work on Ethereum, will work on crypto? It just seems naive to me. And when I started doing all that back testing, I like every trade, every currency pair, I traded differently. Because some currency pairs love to continue the move. Okay? Some currency pairs, let me see here. Let's talk about tangible things. Pound CAD loves to reverse. I know that because I've watched it for 5 years and I've noticed that pound CAD loves to reverse. So if you're looking for continuation patterns on pound CAD, you're going to get a lot of losses, because from the 5 years that I've been looking at it, pound CAD loves to reverse. New Zealand franc, it continues and then it reverses. So depending on what pattern it's playing out, it will continue that and then reverse. I've seen this over 5 years. AUD, NZD, it will retrace. Okay? It will basically retrace, reverse, find supports, find resistance, and then continue. That is literally here. Euro loves to complete the continuation patterns. Gold loves to do reversals. Like, let's look at it. The last trade I took was a perfect reversal. Here, it was moving down, Most people would have thought, yeah, it looks bearish to me. Okay, I entered long and I got the trade right. Very simple. Very simple. This was a trend line. This very trend line. Broke the trend line, entered me, made profit. Seems very complicated. Like, how would you have found that? The only way I would have found that is because I've got the data to back it up. USD franc continuation. Hence, I'm saying to you all, where is USD franc? Hence, I said that depending on what happens from today and tomorrow and Monday and Tuesday, if it continues in its bearish pattern, this bearish structure, there's a high chance that it will continue. I know this because over the last 5 years, that's exactly what it's done. So when I said to you all that I have a 1 to 5, pending on USD franc. Oh my God, what am I doing? Look here. The 1 to 5 gets achieved. Long story short, okay. The 1 to 5 gets achieved. The reason it gets achieved is because it's a continuation. Continuation patterns, they break and they go. They break and they go. So I'm not scared to look for 1 to 5 on USD franc. Because over the last 5 years, USD franc has shown me to be a continuation type of currency pair, where the patterns they like to break and they like to go. I mean, you can just look at USD franc. Look, like just look at it. Like, once it picks a direction, it goes. It doesn't ask questions. It goes. What else is here? GA reversals, continuation on USD CAD. USD CAD and USD franc are correlated. Of course, they'll both be continuations. AUD franc, continuation. Euro pound. Euro pound is inversely correlated to pound USD, which means that when pound USD goes up, Euro pound goes down. USD franc is a continuation type of currency pair. Euro USD will also be one. They're inversely correlated. Euro USD becomes a continuation type of currency pair. So does pound USD, which makes Euro pound the same because they're inversely correlated. Pound USD flies 500 pips one way, Euro pound is going to fly 500 pips, or at least half of that, the other way. AUD JPY. What did I write here? Reversal. Hence, I'm waiting for a reversal on AUD JPY. USD JPY, continuation. I just covered that right now. AUD CAD, continuation. Pound NZD, continuation. So, I know it might look crazy. Like, oh, this guy, he's selling and the market is rallying. I'm not basing my trading decisions on how I feel and how I woke up this morning and the type of argument me and my girlfriend had last night. No, my decisions are based on the last 5 years of Forex. So I respect everyone's opinion, you know. I'm forever, encouraging you guys to kind of like, yo, share with me what you guys think, Share with me what you guys think. What I've noticed is that a lot of you guys trade on a lower time frame than me. So it is possible that we're both right. Okay? Because I'm a swing trader. Yesterday, there were two guys that got into some really excellent trades. Just top-notch trades. One was on gold, and the other one was on USD JPY. Proper trades. I encourage it. We can all learn, I guess, right? But it's like I'm saying, guys, it's like I'm saying, these are not isolated decisions. I'm not short on AUT JPY because I feel like it. I have the data to support the decision. Hence, I said that even if I hit stop loss, it's okay. Because I know that 8 out of 10 times I won't. 8 out of 10 times I won't. When I hit a stop loss, I don't go back to the drawing board. Like, oh my God, my strategy doesn't work. Oh my God, what can I learn? I don't pull up ICT out of panic. because any one trade doesn't invalidate all of this, you know. Any one trade doesn't invalidate everything I've compiled. Okay? And I think that's possibly the best way to trade. Because if I use February as an example, not February, January as an example. If you traded January, you know what happened in January. We were in a range. Where is it? Where's DXY? We were in a range. We were in this range. In fact, we were in two ranges, to be honest. Market wasn't doing anything. And I couldn't find a winning trade to save my life. I did, but it was a negative month for me. It was a negative month for me. I had the worst trading month of my life last month. I lost 2%. December, I had the best trading month of my life. I made 13%. And when I say the best, I'm not talking about just in terms of percentages, right? I'm talking about the fact that in terms of accuracy, consistency, how well I stuck to my strategy, December was my best month. I don't even think I got a loss in December. And then I walked straight into Jan, and it was like standing in a ring with Mike Tyson at his prime. I couldn't get anything. I couldn't land anything. And I lost 2%. And then February started. And within the first week of February, I made back the 2%. Now, if I had gone through Jan and I was unsure of my strategy, unsure about what I'm doing, and I could have blamed it on the fact that I'm exhausted. That's why I lost those trades. I could have blamed it on the fact that, maybe the strategy doesn't work. Maybe the market has changed. Maybe this, maybe that. Maybe I need to start banging my head against the wall and just give into the ICT strategies. Maybe I need to really start looking at this FVGs and stuff like that. And I think a lot of that's like the worst place that you can end up in as a trader, is because you're just gonna kind of like spin like on this hamster wheel, just like, okay, fine, this doesn't work, but let me try this. Okay, this doesn't work. This, okay, this. Your strategy sometimes is just not going to work, and you need to design it in such a way that when it's not working, you're not losing too much money, and when it is working, you're maximizing that. Anyway, I'm done with my rant. Sorry about that. What you think about gold? I'm looking at USD franc and how it behaves over the next couple of days to kind of decide, not just with gold, but with just the dollar index, with USD. I'm going to be looking at how it behaves over the next 2-3 days to figure out what my bias is going to be for the next 4 to 6 weeks. If the dollar index is anything to go by, it's already broken through this trend line. So from here, you would suspect that it's going to fall out of the sky. But because of this range here, anything can happen. It can bounce off of it and go back up. It could go back to the trend line, reject, and then go back down. So I'm looking at USD franc. If USD franc finds support over the next 2 to 3 days, USD franc is going to rally to new highs, which will push gold down finally. Okay, that's my stance on USD. That is my stance on USD. So the next 2 to 3 days are very important. We have high impact news releases tonight or later on today, depending on what time zone you're in. So there are high impact USD news releases later on today. Tomorrow, Friday, there are also high impact news releases due later on in the day. On let's see here. On Tuesday, there's a high impact USD news release out in the afternoon. So there's going to be a lot of volatility from now until next week, which is what I'm going to be looking at. For me, it makes no sense to go long on gold right now. Okay? Like after what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight bullish days, you want to buy gold? That is insane to me. Especially considering that as far as opportunities are concerned, when it comes to me and my strategy, gold is a currency or a commodity that loves to reverse. So if we've been bullish for 5 to 6 days, we could be coming up on the perfect time to trade a reversal on gold. But like I said, I'm going to look at USD over the next 2 to 3 days. It's two things I just need to do. I need to just see if it continues with this bearish trend or if it finds support and begins to reverse. Depending on either one of those, I will know what to do with every currency pair that has anything to do with USD. So I have a much more complete answer, a much better picture of what's going to happen next week, Tuesday or Wednesday, probably Tuesday, because my live is later on in the evening anyway. Anyway. It's been real. It's been real. I feel like I just went on a rant. My bad, guys. Why do you use USD franc to get your conclusion? I don't use it. I use it amongst other things. USD franc, USD CAD, USD JPY, and the dollar index are all correlated. In our situation today, the dollar index is already indicated that it is bearish because it broke through a significant trend line. Okay? If this was any other time, I would have said, guys, gold is going to the moon, sell everything, buy gold. But because the last time we were here in this range, we were here for almost 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We were in this range for almost 3 weeks. Which tells me that it's it's rejecting it right now as I'm speaking. Which tells me that it's a very strong support zone. So seeing that USD franc hasn't broken its trend line, I can't say that DXY really is going to fall to the bottom, because if I say that, it will bring everything else with it, right? Because they're correlated. Remember, if DXY falls out of the sky, USD franc has to do the same. USD JPY has to do the same. USD CAD has to do the same. So depending on what happens with the news releases that are coming out in the next 3 days, we will know. We will know what to do. So it's not that I'm basing my whole on, or every time I want to enter a trade, I look at what USD franc is doing specifically. No, I just know that they're correlated. So whenever, like, let's say I'm trying to figure out a trade on USD JPY and I don't see it so clearly, I'll look at USD franc and I'll look at USD CAD. I'll maybe even look at Euro USD because USD franc and Euro USD are inversely correlated. They do the opposite of one another. So if I can find a solid buying opportunity on Euro USD, then I know that USD franc is probably going to sell off as well. All right. So just to answer your question, I don't arrive at any conclusions based on one currency pair. I look at everything. I look at the whole board and I figure out what I should do. Guys, it has been real. it has been real. I feel like I got a lot off my chest today. I'm going to see you guys again tomorrow. Same time, same place. Yeah, same time, same place tomorrow. And, hopefully we'll have a lot more to talk about in regards to the dollar because this evening there is a news release that's coming out. So, yeah, I will check you guys. I'll check you guys soon.